One of the things that I'm most proud of with this whole pedal demo journey is how it has taught me to appreciate effects that I honestly never could have seen myself use 10 years ago or so. And one of those effects are Octave Fuzz. And it took me a really long time just to appreciate fuzz itself. So learning to love an effect that was even more chaotic and unhinged than fuzz, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But it did happen. And now Octave Fuzz is honestly one of my favorite effects. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about and show you what made Octave Fuzz click for me, as well as give you a quick demo of the new Diamond F OCTAVE, a pedal that contains everything that I love about a good Octave Fuzz. So let's go. Okay, before we dive into it, what exactly is classic Octave Fuzz? Well, it's achieved by taking your signal waveform, doubling it, and then using diodes to fold the negative part of the wave in order to create a new wave that's an octave higher than the original. And this is also known as wave folding or wavefold distortion. And it sounds a bit like this. Pretty wild, right? As with anything new and different in life, it's often a good thing to just ease into it gently. And that's what the KMA Machines Balaguer did for me. Not only was it the first fuzz pedal that I really liked, since it's able to go from more classic overdrive to full-blown fuzz, but it was also my subtle introduction into the world of Octave Fuzz, since it started to introduce this subtle octave harmonic when you really slammed the gain and the tone. And the Diamond F OCTAVE kind of offers a similar vibe to that, since you can turn the octave on and off via this toggle in the middle. But even in the off position, it kind of sounds like there's this subtle octave magic going on, much like the Balaguer. And it just gives it all this beautiful, thick, synthetic vibe. Let's hear it. The pedal that got me into classic Octave Fuzz was the Solid Gold Effects 76 Fuzz. It has that vintage splattery nature, but it was like it had more heft and aggression than any other Octave Fuzz I had tried until then. And a simple power chord just turned into a full-on guitar war machine, and single notes would just soar with synthetic glory. This was also the pedal that taught me that Octave Fuzz is basically an instrument in its own right, and you really have to adapt your playing to accommodate its feral nature. The F octave offers that same kind of aggression if you flick the octave switch to on. Actually, this thing can get way more aggressive than any other Octave Fuzz I've heard due to its insanely wide-ranging gain and tone controls. So let's take this thing on a journey that starts in percussive synth territory and just ends up in full-on doomy madness. And finally, a thing that I've come to appreciate more and more over the years when it comes to pedals is versatility. Because pedalboard space always gets devoured quickly. Hence, I always try to go for an Octave Fuzz that can also act as a normal fuzz. Just like the Death by Audio Octave Clang, which I really like. The F octave offers that same kind of versatility with its on-off toggle for the octave. It would of course have been nice to have it on a dedicated bypass switch, but it's not a deal breaker, at least to me. And if you use this thing in octave off mode together with some brighter tone and low pass filter settings, then you can get this pedal to sound almost like a Big Muff, but still with some of that delightful, subtle octave magic going on in the background, and it sounds absolutely monumental. Alright, that was my journey from Octave Fuzz novice to full-on Octave Fuzz addict. And I just love this effect for making lead lines stand out and for pure doom and gloom power chord destruction. To me, this is a sound that makes people stand up and take notice, and that's the best kind of sounds. Before we end it all, I just want to give a quick shout out to other Octave Fuzz pedals that I really like, and that's the KMA Mandrake. And this thing has a freaking dedicated mixer section, allowing you to blend your dry and fuzz signal to perfection. So if you're into sound designing, then you should definitely check this one out, and I highly recommend you watch my demo on it. And finally, we have the Jackson Audio Fuzz, which allows you to use the octave section together with the normal fuzz or entirely on its own, giving you a bonkers amount of sounds in a very compact package. And I have a pedal board demo on my video where this one is featured, so I recommend you check that one out as well. Alright everybody, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, then please remember to leave a comment, a like, or hit subscribe. It just helps the channel a lot, and I get that warm, fuzzy feeling whenever you leave a nice comment. It makes me happy. There was a fuzz pun in there, if you didn't notice. And if you want to kickstart your own Octave Fuzz journey, then remember, you can get these pedals and many, many more over at thepedalzone.com. You've been wonderful, and I've simply been Stefan, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye!